Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing well. Finally back in the garage after like over a month, I think it's been. We're trying to make some progress in the car today, and today we're going to be installing a new subframe along with a Block's rigid collar kit. The reason for installing a new subframe, some of you should already know that my car has been in an accident before I took ownership of the car. Caster has always been a little bit screwed up on the passenger side, and you can actually see here on the horns it's crushed in. These are Charlie's tow hooks, by the way, which are really nice. You can see everything is kind of crooked because, well, it's caved in right there. Because of that, you can see at the subframe there, it's a little bit tweaked as well. Gonna be removing that entirely, installing this rigid collar kit. There is the new to me subframe down there. It's pretty darn clean. I think it's been repainted as well. So the reason for the rigid collar kit, if you look at the mating surfaces between the subframe and the chassis itself, those mating surfaces, they're not machine surfaces, so they're not perfectly flat. So you think about the chassis with an uneven surface here and the subframe with another uneven surface here. When you tighten them together, the tighter you go, of course, the more it'll close up, but it's going to want to return to its normal position, right? And essentially is going to create a spring-like tension there. Spoon Sports does a really good job at explaining the reason for these things, which I'll link it in the description box below, but you guys check that out. They did a really good job there. And not only that, the holes in the subframe that the bolts go through, they're a lot larger than the actual bolt itself. So using these things kind of like as a pallet or locator, it allows you to center the subframe onto the chassis. And then these collars here are made of like a soft type of aluminum. So as you tighten down the bolt, the collar will actually crush in between and fill up all those little imperfections, kind of like just like a crush washer. When that happens, it essentially locks the subframe in place. For the approach today, I'm going to keep all the suspension, the brakes, all that still intact. I'm just going to disconnect it from the subframe. I'm going to take the sway bar off as well, and then I'll just hit all the big bolts for the subframe and then lower it down. Should be fairly quick, shouldn't take too long. Subframe is out. Kind of hard to see because of the black mat, but got all that room in here now. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the new subframe over. We're gonna set some of these on top here. There's specific locations for each one, and then we'll raise it up, put some bolts through, and yeah, bolt it down. Little update, I've got these little cast iron pieces swapped over from the old one down there to the new one here. You can see the rigid collar on top there. This one in particular, bolt goes through all the way through the subframe into the horn here, and this is probably the biggest bolt. This one actually requires two rigid collars, one at the bolt flange here and then one between the subframe and the chassis. So this one will actually slide right on the bolt, and then this will go right up into this hole and into the chassis. The problem I'm running into right now is that this rigid collar is not sliding all the way up in there as it should, nice and smooth. It's a little stuck, so I'm going to take the Dremel. Looks like there's a few little imperfections here and there, and I'll just kind of grind away a little bit at this hole so that I can get this rigid collar to slide up in there the way it should. Kind of cleaned up the holes a little bit, and I was able to now slip the collars right in. I've got the 4 main bolts holding up the subframe now. Here's the other one over here that I just did some work on. That'll slide right up in there just like that. And I think that's it for all the rigid collars. I've got 2 right here, 2 here, 1 on each one back here, and then I've got 2 there and 2 right over there. All right, time to tighten her down. subframe is installed, suspension is all put back together, sway bars together, got the rigid collar kit installed. Everything went pretty smooth, aside from the fact that I had to do a little bit of grinding with the Dremel, but not a big deal. Well, that's pretty much gonna do it for today. Just a short little video on the subframe and rigid collar kit install. I did confirm the engine will be done somewhere around Memorial weekend. So I'll be running back up to Minnesota to grab the motor from Charlie. When he's done building it, then we'll go ahead and make the trans to it that I just finished rebuilding, and then we'll throw it back in the car, and then hopefully everything starts to go back together quickly. That way we can have enough time to get the car out to Rudd's Racing and have Mikey tune it, and then be ready for the first track day of the year, which is going to be in July. This month and next month I'm going to be super busy once again with work and traveling. I'll have, again, minimal time to work on the car, but I'm gonna try to get as much done as I can. But today made a little bit of progress, so I'm happy about that. Side note, we hit 4,000 subs a little bit about a week ago, I think. Thank you guys so much for following along on the build and my progress as a driver. It's been a pretty wild almost 2 years of YouTube and videos and all of this stuff. Only gonna get bigger, it's only gonna get better, so stay tuned because we're gonna continue to grow as long as, you know, I stay consistent with these videos, which it's kind of hard to do with my schedule, but we're definitely gonna try hard. And with that said, go ahead and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Share the video. That's one of the most important metrics that helps the channel grow. If you guys want to stay up to date with the build, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down in the comments section down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. But until next time, stay safe, stay smooth. I'll see you guys in the next video.